Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, we're live again. We're live again. What is up, folks? What is up? Wow, it's crazy times that we are in. Crazy times we are in. Give me 1 second here. I just got to send these invites out. You already know. You already know. We got a very interesting live stream here for you. We're supposed to be covering the RNC, but this was crazy. Like, it looked kind of boring, to be real. It looked very boring. Very boring. And unfortunately, my internet went down during all this, like when I could have been making this content, but we're here, right? Okay, let's get this out here. We got a live stream here for you. Okay. Let's get on camera here. Well, hello. What's good? What's good? We got Cat Turd here. It's a Cat Turd post here. Well, welcome. It's your boy Kiwtb. We're live right now. We're streaming to Twitch and YouTube. We got a breaking news live stream here for you. I apologize for the interruption earlier today. Once again, we had a disconnection or some kind of outage in my area, but we are back. I just got some intel that they just dropped the news about former President Trump's current VP pick. Finally, we're figuring out who it is. Not my pick, but I mean, hey, we'll see how this goes, right? And we'll kind of see people's feelings on it. You can already see that there's already people that are already pointing out some things here that I don't know. It doesn't look too good, but folks, if you enjoy this video, if you enjoy this broadcast, please consider hitting the like, share, and the subscribe button. We don't normally do this, and this is something that we're going to be engaging in a lot more in the future. So definitely prepare for more of this. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below, and that like and that share would be fantastic if you don't mind. Yeah, if you want to see what else we're doing outside of any other platform or outside of this platform, you can hit me up on all of them pretty much at Kicking It with Timmy B. And then we're on Twitter right now known as X. You can hit me up on there at KIWTB Gaming. But without further ado, let's go read what Donald Trump has to say on Truth Social about this VP pick. So Donald J. Trump says, at the real Donald Trump, after lengthy deliberation and thought, and considering the tremendous talents of many others, I have decided that the person best suited to assume the position of Vice President of the United States is Senator J.D. Vance of the great state of Ohio. JD honorably served our country in the Marine Corps. Very interesting. Graduated from Ohio State University in 2 years. Wow. Instead of doing it in 4, he did it all in 2. Interesting. Okay. Summa cum laude, which is like, I'm pretty sure that's like top tier, right? It's like valedictorian or whatever they call that. I didn't get that, so I wouldn't know anything about it. Summa cum laude is a Latin phrase that means the highest distinction, and it is the highest honor that educational institutions can bestow upon students. It's given to students who have surpassed most of their peers in the field of study, both academically and in the mastery of it. Interesting. It is, so back to what he was saying, and it is a Yale Law School graduate, where he was editor of the Yale Law School or Law Journal and the president of the Yale Law Veterans Association. JD's book, Hillbilly Elegy, became a major bestseller and movie as it championed the hard work. I was like, what? As it championed the hardworking men and women of our country. JD has had a very successful business career in technology, finance, and now, during the campaign, he will be strongly focused on the people he fought so brilliantly for, the American workers and farmers in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, Minnesota, and far beyond. So this is straight from Donald Trump's Truth Social. It seems like JD Vance is the one, huh? Well, let's move on out of here with that, and let's get Brandon Tatum to explain what how he thinks about all this. I tried to find like a video of them announcing it, of Donald Trump announcing it, but he didn't like announce it on stage. Like, he didn't announce it in the speech. Supposedly he announced it just on True Social. So let's go see what Brandon Tatum has to say. He's a police officer. Friends with Candace Owens and stuff like that. I don't agree with everything that he says and has said before, but he has some very interesting thoughts. Let's see what he has to say. Officer Tatum.
What's going on, y'all? Donald Trump has just picked the vice president. He's chosen to pick J.D. Vance. Now, I'm going to let a couple people get in so we can explain it, but it's breaking news. I got a report of it like 10 minutes ago. It took me a while to get set up on the live. But Donald Trump has selected J.D. Vance. It's been confirmed. A whole bunch of sources that I know have confirmed it, that's going to be the next vice president of the United States of America. And I say that because Donald Trump is going to win. So we might as well chalk it in that J.D. Vance is the vice president. Let me just give you my thoughts on
J.D. Vance
real quick. I don't know much about J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance was a never Trumper. He said all kind of crazy stuff about Donald Trump at one point, which I don't like, the fact that Trump would pick him because of his past. But everybody can change, right? I will say this. I think it's not a good pick. I hope to God that I'm wrong. I think it's not a good pick because I think we need to play the game just like they playing the game. All they're going to do is push that there's two white men running the country and
it's not a good look.
And all these other things that they're going to push.
It's not a good look.
White men. I just think that idiot, low information voters are going to see that and think that the ticket of diversity and inclusion versus the ticket of two white men.
Which, I mean, in my personal opinion, Tulsi Gabbard, I think, would have been great. Tulsi Gabbard, Vivek. I mean, Vivek was my number one pick for that. If I were, but regardless, I mean, it's very interesting because you do have to combat those folks that are just like, bruh, the folks who are wanting more diverse picks here. A diverse group of individuals instead of just the same old check the box, like, I don't know. Let's continue.
I'm gonna get to why I like J.D. Vance in a second, but this is what I don't like about it. I thought he should have picked somebody like Byron Donalds. I thought he should have picked at least Vivek Ramaswamy, because I think that Vivek Ramaswamy poses a big, huge threat to the establishment, and they don't have a vested interest in getting rid of Trump if somebody like Vivek could take over. But somebody like J.D. Vance.
Yeah, guy might be a little bit of a pushover, huh? Vivek is totally, in my opinion, just by going off of all the stuff I've seen, he's the guy that's going to be pushing back consistently, and he would have his back. But, I mean, I don't know too much about JD Vance. He's, like, real big in Pennsylvania and Ohio, and obviously we just read a little bit about him, but I don't know beyond that stuff that we just read. Like, I don't know, man. He's a Marine, though. Why would he back down? But you never know.
They probably want him to take over. I don't think he's as radical. I don't think he's as bold as Donald Trump consistently across the board, consistently over time. I literally have seen J.D. Vance say that Donald Trump is a threat and that he did not support Donald Trump. I've seen it happen. Now,
I guess it's good to have somebody that's not with him, so it'd be like, look, this guy wasn't with me. He wasn't about this, but obviously he's seen yada 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 and kind of changed his mind, right? I could see that spin, but I don't know, man. That's a little risky. Vivek, man, it's all the way.
You guys can have your opinions. I think J.D. Vance, and a good thing about J.D. Vance is that he's from Ohio, which is one of those battleground states. And then also, you know, I think he's very articulate. I think he's very smart on the issues. I think he's very professional. And I think he's a safe pick for Trump because he's not too radical.
See what the chat says here.
Degree. So if you're just now joining, Donald Trump selected J.D. Vance as his vice president. He haven't announced it yet. But right now, if you are looking at the RNC, they're now giving their delegates. So, right, American Samoa has given their delegates. I mean, all the other states are giving their delegates, and all the delegates are going to Donald Trump, obviously, unless somebody's smoking crack with Hunter Biden somewhere, that they wouldn't give, all the delegates wouldn't select Donald Trump unanimously as the candidate. I hope that every single never Trumper is crying themselves to sleep right now.
This dude's crazy.
Because they are wrong, they're incompetent, and they hate America. To be honest, if you dislike Trump, you honestly dislike America. You cannot differentiate the two, in my personal opinion.
You're free to have your own opinion. That's where I will cut it right there. You're definitely free to have your own opinion, but okay. Well, that's the JD Vance part from Officer Tatum. I mean, that was enough for me. That's enough right there. Like I said, Vivek would have been my personal choice. I mean, to be honest, it would have been nice to just have like a different Republican nominated person in general, like instead of Donald Trump. But this is what we have here, folks. Like this is what we have. This is what's in front of us here, and limited time until, you know, the election. This is what we got. This is what we have to deal with, unfortunately. So, I mean, it's best to get as many good players into this as possible. I'm very interested to see what the DNC is going to do, and we're going to be doing some content on that when that drops next month. We'll be doing a live stream discussing what's going on with the RNC. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm thinking JD Vance, man. He's gonna be leading this movement like into 2028, and then who's gonna be the VP for this guy, right? If he decides to run for president, JD Vance, after the 4-year vice president term goes, what is he? Who's gonna, you know, step up to that to be VP, or who's gonna? Because that's gonna be completely different. Because now Donald Trump at that point is gonna be. He already did he would have done the 2 terms. There's no, he can do a third or fourth term because he would be trying to run for the 4th time, but he can't do a 3rd term, right? You know what I mean? He won't be on the ballot. So it's just so interesting, like just taking a step back from like today and looking towards the future. It's like, wow, who's gonna be the nomination, you know, 4 years from now. But right now, we got to worry about it right now. We might not even make it, to that point, God willing. But anyway, let's go check this out. That's what I think. Let me know what you folks think in the comment section below. J.D. Vance being the VP for Donald Trump, or for former President Donald Trump, and his upcoming election campaign to become the 47th president of the United States of America. It's your boy KWTB. Hit the like, share, and the subscribe button, and let me know what you folks think. Yeah. All right, so now that we got that, let's pull up
RNC. This is a live look inside Pfizer Forum as the RNC officially begins today. And you might be thinking, where are all the people? I just see kind of a few little ants down there. Well, that's because we're in between sessions right now. We had the first official session that happened earlier today, and we're still awaiting the second session to begin in about an hour from now. And tonight's session runs from about 5:45 until 10 o'clock tonight. And that's where we're going to see a lot of your biggest headliners. So we, of course, are keeping an eye on things. But like we mentioned, as we headed into the break and as we looked over the Deer District, people were starting to scatter about.
Right. And they deserve a break. They got a lot done. They nominated a candidate, Donald J. Trump. They found out who he wanted to be his running mate. They nominated him. So now the ticket is complete. It's an official ticket. I guess it'll be official once they accept the nomination.
Right.
I like the odds that both are going to say yes to this. But, yeah, it's been a really productive
Interesting.
afternoon. A lot of housekeeping and a lot of procedural stuff. And that big surprise for many, that J.D. Vance, he was on that short list, of course. Let's go to political.
Yeah, it's a big surprise.
More
it's not expecting
that.
that.
Announcement made earlier today that the Ohio senator will be the running mate for Donald Trump.
Yeah, it was a surprise because there were still several finalists. It was also possible that the former president could have picked somebody that wasn't on that list of possible running mates, but he did go with the Ohio Senator J.D. Vance. And we've been talking to delegates here. One of the delegates we spoke with was former Governor Scott Walker, and he's been going to conventions. This is his 5th convention. That means he's been going to these things for 20 years. And this was the first time in those 20 years where the nominee for vice president was not known before the convention. So this is a kind of, historically rare opportunity here for Republican delegates here to be part of a surprise announcement from the former president. So that happened just a few moments ago. Right here you can see there's still some delegates milling around from around the country. All the American territories are here as well. And Republicans today officially nominated Donald Trump to be president. That's the 3rd time he gets the Republican nomination. The GOP has officially nominated their vice presidential pick to J.D. Vance. So that happened here as well. And one of the things that's interesting is that for the presidential nomination, it's state by state. So every one of these states had an opportunity to go up to the microphones. New York, that you see there, Alabama, Texas, Arkansas, Arizona, each of the states one by one went through, and also the territories, and declared who they were voting for president. And of course that person, the nominee, Donald J. Trump, the 3rd time he's receiving that nomination. Now, J.D. Vance, he was in attendance here, made that announcement here, and came out to large applause from the delegates. We've been talking to people about what exactly this pick of J.D. Vance means for the Trump-Vance ticket, and here's what the chairman of the Wisconsin Republican Party told me.
I think having someone who understands, the Midwestern vote and understands the importance of states like Wisconsin, I think is helpful. I think it's really helpful. So I'm excited about J.D. Vance, and I'm also excited to see the debate stage with J.D. Vance and Kamala Harris.
Oh, that's great. I'm so glad this guy brought that up.
Debate.
Yes.
Yes. One of the things that we're also watching is that Democratic reaction to this. We saw that the
That's going to be awesome.
Had paused their campaign ads, their text messages, their emails after that assassination attempt on the former president on Saturday. But today now they're sending out messages, and they actually had a virtual press conference or news conference criticizing J.D. Vance. One of the things they're pointing out is that in the past, J.D. Vance criticized Donald Trump. So we'll see exactly how that plays out as this election now goes into the final sprint before Election Day. Reporting live on the floor, Jason Calvi, Fox 6 News.
Kicking
right,
it
Jason,
with Timmy B.
So
We're checking out the RNC.
Have taken a break, and they've gone outside, and they realize, oh, man,
All right,
It's
we're
hot.
watching our Fox 6 coverage there from Milwaukee, Wisconsin of the RNC. And like you heard during their broadcast, it is on break. The session will resume at 6:45 Eastern. We'll have it fully covered as we'll see more and more. Like you heard, some different protocols.
All right, folks, here's the deal. We got to check out a little bit of the RNC. That was like a great segment to like pull up. That was awesome. That was a great segment. JD Vance going up against Kamala Harris in a debate, man. That's gonna be fire. If he is the guy, dude, this is gonna be so cool. I gotta see this. I cannot wait. Wow. It would have been better if Vivek was, because then he could really just rip all these people to shreds, like verbally, with logic and like great debate. To make you think and to make these other people look stupid because they ain't even close. They ain't even close to this. It's so insane, man. So seeing something like that would be great. Wow, they nominated this guy, former President Trump, 3 times, they said, in the RNC. 3 times. Out of all these people that like put their name in the hat or whatever, this guy keeps showing up every time, bruh. Every time. All right, well, that's what I think about the RNC so far. We'll have to go tap in later on tonight. If I don't come back tonight with that information, we'll be back tomorrow and or later on this week, because the RNC goes until the 18th. Today is the 15th. So definitely tap in with your boy. I hope you enjoyed that small segment that we covered on the RNC. It's your boy Kiwtb. Yeah. So I got another one here for you. DJ Khaled. We got another one for you. Let's pull this up. Okay, I get it. It's not CNN News or Daily, whatever, blah, 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 CNN, MSNBC. We're on the realclearpolitics.com up here. You can clearly see that's where we're at. I wanted to get footage of Dan Bongino discussing with someone about this whole security failure with the Secret Service. Dan Bongino served with the Secret Service. I don't know how long. I don't know the whole story behind it, but Dan Bongino used to serve in the Secret Service. I don't agree, once again, that he's another person. I don't agree with everything he says. I don't agree with everything everyone says, but I don't agree with everything that he says, but I feel like he makes a lot of great points. So we had to go find, long story short, footage of him discussing this. Well, he was on Fox News discussing this. I want to see what he has to say, and then we'll break it down. If you enjoy the video, please consider hitting the like, share, and the subscribe button. I'm going to put the link for this in the description below. Let's get into it.
Your thoughts on this, Dan? Just continue where you left off on the reaction here. Your thoughts on this, Dan? Just continue where you left off on the reaction here.
So, again, open security questions right now. And this is why, again, I think the Secret Service
quality's really bad.
Anthony Guglielmi has to be very careful about what they put out. You know, he says in his X post, and you can read it yourself, you don't need to hear it from me, that they deployed these extra resources and technology. Okay, well, which ones?
Right.
You're telling me the best technology you have was deployed and you missed a shooter 130 yards? Say it was 200 yards. The Secret Service CS team, Pete, the counter sniper teams, and I'm not sure those 2 guys are Secret Service. We have to remember that we don't always, when we go to New York sometimes with high-level protectees, we'll use NYPD ESU counter sniper. So I'm not really sure that either way
you're getting those resources from the police department, not the Secret Service. I get that. Okay.
The question we have to ask is, if that's the best technology we have, and we had a CS team up there with a shooter that, you know, we're trained out to 1,000 yards in the Secret Service with the counter sniper team.
Wow.
How did they miss someone at most?
It's a football field.
1/5 of the way there. It doesn't make any sense. And even worse, it's broad daylight on a white roof. So again, open questions here. Was there forward-looking infrared deployed? Was there aerial support, drones, helicopters?
I didn't see any drones in any of the footage. I didn't see any helicopters. None of that. But you could see here is the evacuation point here. This is where the Trump stage was at. This is where the shooter is at. And this is where the counter sniper team is at. They have two. They have one on this side and one on this side. So where are they looking at? When you're looking at the video, you could see these guys are pointing that way. Are they pointing at this guy? Or are they pointing over here? Are they pointing over here? Like, the crowd is all over here. And you see this picture. It's so crazy. It's so crazy for this, man. It's like open season. Open season. I need to see it. It's been a while since we've been out to the Butler Fairgrounds in Butler, PA, but I would need to see this. This topical graph of this is cool and all that, bird's eye view, but we got to have more. I got to see it
something
in person.
happened too. If you go back and listen to the audio, I want you to listen to this after I get off.
The whole point of what I was saying about the counter sniper team, are they looking into the crowd or are they looking outwards? What about behind this building? What about in these bushes? I brought up in my first live stream when this all happened on Saturday that there's this whole tree line here. Is there anybody in this tree line? Like, is there police in the tree line? Is there somebody watching outwards? Is there a whole 360 degree perimeter? Like, obviously not, because there's folks. The dude pulled up here, this Matthew Crook loser, that took a ladder and had a rifle with him, put the ladder against the building and and crawled his way all the way up here. To my knowledge, while there's onlookers over here, because if you look at some of the footage, you could see some of the phone footage from the onlookers, the folks that weren't at the rally, but they were kind of outside of it. They could hear, obviously, this is from actual reports from these folks that, you know, they could hear Donald Trump from over here, but they could not see him all the way. The onlookers are taking video of this guy, and there's supposed to be police lined up. Like, I seen a picture, and there was three police officers, by the way that the picture looked like from these onlookers here, that there was 3 police officers there. And these folks are saying, hey, there's a guy up here. What are they doing? What are the police officers doing? This is insane, man. Let's continue.
When Donald Trump, after this tragic thing happens, you'll see the Secret Service agents. And by the way, I know some of those guys personally. It takes a lot to run into bullets, divorcing the security failure. So at least they did that part, correctly, and they knew what they were doing after the security absolutely failed. But you're going to hear something if you listen closely. The guy mentions Hawkeye on the scene. He's talking about those two, the black BDU with the tactical gear CAT element, that 2-man CAT element. That stands for Counter Assault Team. That's a Secret Service Special Weapons Team, equivalent to our SWAT. So they're there.
Very impressive, Dan Bongino's knowledge about this. Let's go.
They all deployed and did what had to be. That the bunting around the front of the stage is probably armor. Donald Trump knew to duck. I mean, most people would. He saved his own life. That's just a fact. The evacuation did not go right. I mean, the rule with the Secret Service is cover the protectee and evacuate. The other rule is maximum to the protectee, minimum to the problem. Why minimum to the problem? Because you don't know that's the only problem. It could be a distraction. There could be another person in the crowd. So if you don't jump on the protectee, you could be looking at multiple shooters.
Right. And if the one shooter is not going to hit and the target is still exposed, all it leaves for is another person or another gunman to lay down that fire, and then they can get their target. I'm just so glad that this guy wasn't out here getting the whole crowd. It's so unfortunate to hear that these 2 individuals are injured and one, Corey, is deceased. But it's like, oh man, this could have been so much worse. This could have been some kind of Las Vegas thing. And the way that this shooter was positioned, I mean, it's open season. But to what Dan was saying, it's good that they at least jumped up to get to him, to do a full 360 to cover his body. That was on point. Now, the delay after it and before and the whole security failure with the snipers is a whole other thing, but that's good. At least they showed up to be body protection. Donald Trump needs a full flank, front, left, right of Kevlar and body armor.
So at least that part, the guys there, stepped up there. But the failure here is absolutely catastrophic. And I got to tell you, the Secret Service should be very careful. I can tell you and absolutely confirm from the horse's mouth, from multiple people, not just one. And I saw Congressman Waltz text this out before on X. There have been repeated requests to increase the security footprint around not just the residences of Donald Trump, but the body itself. And they have been rebuffed. Like I said, I can tell you actual quotes. The Secret Service directors completely failed and candidly should resign today.
Wow, those are strong words. Those are strong words by Dan Bongino out there on Fox News saying this. Like, it's insane. To what he was saying, he just made a great point. Let's go back to that.
To increase the security footprint around not just the residences of Donald Trump, but the body itself. And they have been rebuffed. Like I said, I can tell you actual quotes. The Secret Service directors completely failed.
Wow. So here's what I'm want to say about that. Donald Trump needs to have, or any president that's still alive right now, that's not in the office, but they're a former president, they need to have all of the security that they need. Their families do, and the actual body, just like he said, the actual body of these individuals need to be protected at all times with the most legit, high-end, top-tier individuals on the planet to be guarding these folks. It definitely seems like some kind of failure in the security here. To my understanding, is Joe Biden, this is President Joe Biden's wife, was having some kind of meeting or event in Pittsburgh, which took a lot of the resources away from Donald Trump's rally. Well, Donald Trump, he goes to all these different rallies and stuff like that. It's like he had, this is my opinion, he had this rally, it's either he had this rally the same day Joe Biden had her event, or Jill Biden had her event the same day Donald Trump had his event. Regardless, everyone can have their own events at whatever time that they choose at their pleasing, but when it comes to resources, and if it's really limited, and we have two important individuals in the same state, less than an hour between each other, those resources are going to get spread thin. Joe Biden deserves to be protected just as much as Donald Trump deserves to be protected. But there's something about this to where Donald Trump has not been getting the proper security that he needs by the Department of Homeland Security, by the White House, or whatever. He's not getting the proper Secret Service detail that he needs. He's not getting everything that he needs, especially during this time and campaign. I mean, my whole thing is just like, you gotta get rid of all these folks and just rehire, because I wouldn't trust anybody in the security detail. Somebody has to be compromised, in my personal opinion. It looks like someone's very compromised, and not only is it compromising, that like I'm seeing this whole thing. It looks very sus. These folks just failed, man. And you got to get folks that are on point. And everyone makes mistakes, but for a job position like this, guarding the most important individual, or one of the most important individuals on the planet, you can't make mistakes. It's a zero mistake. zero mistake situation here. Let's continue. Dan Bongino.
And candidly should resign today. Kim Cheadle has failed Donald Trump and honestly failed Joe Biden too.
Kim Cheadle is the Secret Service director. Yeah, it's not looking good. You definitely might want to look at finding a new job. That's for sure.
He's the president right now. Where's the DHS secretary? I mean, this is, you're blaming it on manpower? So just to be clear, we're a $4 trillion United States government and we can't fork over enough money to keep our people alive?
It is absolutely disgusting. Disgusting. But, you know, all that money seems to go overseas, though. It never seems to go right here. And if it does go right here, it goes into some idiot politician's pockets instead of the American people. And obviously, instead of to where it really needs to go is the security, keeping everybody safe. Not only just the president and everybody that's in our government, but keeping the people safe as well.
And then you were sending out tweets like, oh, this is the best technology we have. Really? To let a sniper 150 yards away from the potential next president shoot a piece of his ear off? Pfft, that's your victory lap? Give me a break, man.
Dan, I mean, you bring up so many amazing points, and I just don't even know where to begin except to ask you, why would the Secret Service not beef up more security for the man who is most likely to be assassinated in the entire world? Why would they not deploy more resources? Why weren't there drones over? Is it that this woman, Kimberly Cheadle, the director, is incompetent? Could there be something else there? What is happening? Is it DEI? What's going on?
Well, you know, Rachel, it's my job, if I'm going to give an opinion, to back it up. You know, opinions are like holes, right? Everybody has one. The difference between one opinion over the other in a courtroom and anywhere else is, can you back it up? I want everyone at home, go on your phone or computer now, and I want you to look up U.S. Secret Service, red ties, Donald Trump. Yeah, read it. The Secret Service was more concerned about protective agents around Donald Trump. If you think I'm making this up, go to a left-wing search engine if you think I'm biased. Go to Scroogle and put it, oh, you're reading a story right now. They were more concerned about the color of the Secret Service agents' ties around Donald Trump, given the perception that a red tie was somehow, I've got red ties. I'm a Republican. It's nothing to do with it. I just like red ties. They go nice with white shirts. That's an actual, oh, you see.
I'm not going to lie. It's like, I don't even want to wear anything red because I don't want anyone assuming anything. Like, it just, you don't even want to seem like a target, but it is so weird that these folks are so worried about a dress code for this guy instead of protecting him and getting him the freaking resources and the people he needs.
See, you see it right now. I'm not crazy. This is what the Secret Service was concerned
Shout out to the ladies out there.
about. They put out, 1,000 tweets about all of this DEI stuff. Do I know that's related here? I don't. I'm just saying, like, you have one job and only one job. Your job is keep the body alive, no matter what.
People are saying that there's like some DEI thing that's like overtaking like almost everything and all of these different avenues, jobs, societies. DEI, to the push for diversity, equity, and inclusion seems to be more important than getting folks who actually know what they're doing. The merit, not the color of their skin, their merit, their heart, and how they use their head. Folks are, in my personal opinion, putting this DEI stuff over what's really important, which is logic, common sense, getting people that know how to do the job right, no matter what their color of their skin is.
Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Jill Biden, the president of Djibouti, it doesn't matter. That is your job. They absolutely, resolutely, 100% failed. Not a single excuse should be made. Not a single excuse should be attempted. This should be the subject of congressional hearings and investigations, because if they can't do this, and this is the best technology you had, then, folks, there's no purpose anymore. This isn't the agency I grew up in.
Wow.
I spent 12 years of my life there, and I'm telling you, I know some of those guys personally. These are good men and women. But this was an apocalyptic security failure. And don't ever forget,
Apocalyptic.
uneventful failure is never a success. And the fact that Donald Trump didn't die yesterday is no reason for anybody to take some kind of victory lap. And before we start sending out plaudits, we better look and do a hot wash on this and find out exactly how abysmal this security plan was.
Well, uniquely, because you also have unique experience, uniquely you've been able to tell us today that the failure is on both the ground level and the immediate reaction, the advanced level, and seeing what could potentially be the problem, and at the organizational level in what kind of resources were given to Donald Trump over time. And as we said, you have the experience to know. Dan Bongino, thanks so much for.
That's Dan Bongino, folks. Very, very interesting. I figured that would be very informative. It was actually pretty informative on my end, but I mean, I'm kind of conscious of like how a lot of that stuff works. Not necessarily like the Secret Service, but just security in general, man. Just setting up security and getting the right people to where they need to be and addressing the issue immediately. Not even immediately, probably addressing it before it happens. And not only before it happens, addressing it while it's happening to make sure that it is snuffed out and there's no other issues. Because there's all these other people there as well, you know. You're not just worried about the president, we're worried about everyone there. And this should be a thing where folks should be able to go to any rally on the Biden or a Joe Biden rally, a Donald Trump, whoever. They should be able to go to any political RFK. Shout out to RFK. Anybody should be able to go to any of these rallies or events on either side of the aisle and be able to safely go to one of these events, go in and out without any issue, without people bringing weapons and ladders and hurting other folks and doing all this stuff. This is absolutely insane. This is insane. But back to the whole security thing. I mean, the fact that, do I have the picture, right? I think we have the picture. That's what I wanted to pull up before. Pull up the picture here. There's some crazy stuff. I'm not gonna lie. Jack Black, I heard Jack Black was, he's like trending now. You could see, you can't see it here. You could see Jack Black's trending right now. I seen a video of him and the dude from Tenacious D, his buddy, talking about how the shooter shouldn't have missed Donald Trump, man. That is, and this guy, like, I grew up checking out all of Jack Black's movies and stuff like that. Like, that is embarrassing to be saying something like that. Like, 100% embarrassing that they got folks out here so mad at this dude. They're wishing death upon him. Like, wow. It is insane. So anyway, what I wanted to go into, I wanted to dive deep on this part right here. I don't want to put that because these dudes over here talking about using crazy words that I'm not with, but this is a more close-up image of everything. I mean, there was a lot of people. I looked at it. I mean, it looked like there was like people from like all over here, right? Or like all back here, almost, right? Yeah, Donald Trump's sitting here. The shooter's here. The snipers, one is here, one is here. Where's their pie at? Where's their area that they are watching here? Are sectors of fire? Are there any interlocking sectors of fires between these two sniper teams? Where are they pointing at? But this guy, for this sniper team to be pointing over here, this guy, he must have been like, you could probably only see just a little bit. He's crouched, you can only see just this in the rifle. Because you have to look at it, it's angled. You can already tell that it's angled slightly. It's angled. Guy's sitting on like a little teepee, and he's sitting here right at the top, looking right over. So my thing is, why was it so hard for this sniper team to find this dude? Like, you're a sniper team. You're gonna be looking through the trees. You have this highly elevated position. I want to know what's the elevation of both of these buildings? Like, it's just crazy how they couldn't see him. And it's, I don't want to speculate. But just by looking at the video, though, it looks like this guy, the sniper team, was waiting for the call to take this guy out, which is like, I get it. There's levels to this stuff. And you can't just go around popping fools, without the clearance. But at that moment, I mean, what other clarification do you need? If you see a guy with a rifle pointed at everybody here or somebody here, you have to be the guy to go get this guy. But see, what I keep hearing is that the onlookers were notifying the police here, and they weren't doing anything about it. So there seems to be a failure on these individuals. If there were really 3 police officers standing here or any security, these fools dropped the ball. Not only these folks here, the Secret Service who planned this whole thing, they should have mapped out this whole area. No one shouldn't be able to get anywhere near this. Failure. The snipers, on my personal opinion, failed. Secret Service failed. Like, oh man, it's so sad, man. Shout out to Corey Comparator. Rest in peace, man. And speedy recovery to the 2 individuals caught in the crossfire from this idiot. So, I mean, that's what I really think. They should have set up a whole cordon. If you're going to have these rallies in this open area like this, you got to have better security procedures, plans. Get a whole 2-mile radius. No one's going to pull up on the flank, the left, the right. In all these buildings, there need to be people or an officer next to these buildings, all around it. Like, come on now, man. But that's what I think, folks. That is my thoughts on the security for the event. Let me know what you folks think in the comment section below. Hit the like, share, and the subscribe button. It's your boy Kiwtb. Yeah. So we talked about the Secret Service Longino thoughts. Talked about the sniper. I would love to know, like, they got to interview. This sniper has to have a crazy report. He's got to go through a crazy report to, like, break down every single millisecond of that whole day, that whole moment. Very questionable on, like, what's going on, man. Okay. We got another video here. I was muted. Cool. And what's the name of this? Okay. Let's pull this up here. How long is this? 44 minutes. I don't know if I'm going to watch this whole thing, though. I do not know if I'm going to watch this whole thing. Let's see. All right, folks. I don't want to bury the lead. 3 prophets explain 3 American solar eclipses. April 8th sign, Amanda Grace, Brandon Biggs, Cioccolanti, Steve Cioccolanti, and Discover Ministries. Supposedly, this video is going viral. It's got 1 million views now. This individual, Steve, has predicted, or an individual on his show has kind of predicted the assassination attempt on Donald Trump that happened over the weekend. It seems to be 4 months ago. So I don't know. This guy, I don't know if it's prophetic, biblical. I don't know, but I want to go check it out. I'm going to leave this link in the description below. Let me know what you folks think about the video and everything. Hit the like, share, and a subscribe button. It's your boy, Kiwtb. We're going to go check into this prophetic video that they're saying about the events that happened over the weekend to Donald Trump. They're saying that this was kind of been predicted.
The General Michael Flynn, a patriot, and also myself at Winter Haven, Florida on April 6th, or in Branson, Missouri on April 11. The way
I'm gonna skip ahead here.
Discover Church. I'm here with 2 special friends that I know you know
This guy
well,
does it.
Amanda Grace and Brandon Biggs. So we just want to get into the prophetic right now and share God's heart, whatever God's revealed to each of us about this critical time in U.S. history. So we know that the solar eclipse is coming, and I just want to hear your heart. What do you think? I mean, it's obviously very, very critical, very important. Amanda, what do you think?
The interesting part about this is that this eclipse, first of all, is sandwiched right in between 2 major Jewish holidays. So literally this sandwich between Purim and Passover, which are 2 holidays that have to do with deliverance for God's people, holy days on the Jewish calendar, deliverance for God's people, and judgment, not only for the wicked, but high government officials, right, and those nations. So this eclipse, we find ourselves sandwiched right in between and happening 2 weeks to the day before Passover. Another interesting thing about this eclipse is that, yes, we've heard about the 7 Ninevehs, and it's passing through 7 Nineveh cities in the United States of America and 1 in Canada, Nova Scotia.
I wanted to get a little bit of context here. Let's hear what this individual has to say, because the eclipse is already over. I mean, that's very interesting how it's between 2 holidays, but I want to tap in and see if this is the part
when
here.
I was praying a couple weeks ago, he said to me, he said, Brandon, I want you to watch Passover. For when Passover comes, there's going to be an acceleration of things, even more so from what it was from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah. He said, but this will be a time of great acceleration. And he said, you'll see acceleration in the financial realm. And he said, you're going to see acceleration in the politics, and you're going to see acceleration in war. And he told me, he said, these things are going to, he said, for my son's return is imminent. And he told me this. He said, when this happened, when Passover, this time of Passover happened, there would be such a great, is almost, and he told me about weather. And he told me, he said, there'll be great temperature rising in Chicago, through New York, and some of the other areas up east.
It's super hot.
Record-breaking temperatures during this time frame. And
right now, it's super hot right now. I feel like they say that every single summer, but yo, it's super hot. They just had a thing. I don't know, was that on the Dan Bongino thing? Or one of the videos I watched today, or we probably watched today, it said right on the bottom of the screen, it was like a record-breaking temperatures are soaring across the country right now.
Warned me about storms, long-track tornadoes, and for the body of Christ to take their authority over these storms, because they would be these tornadoes, they'll be the largest tornadoes we've ever seen in history, potentially, being long-track tornadoes. And then he said microburst. He was talking about 150 mile per hour winds would come out of these microbursts, and he was talking about taking authority over that and praying over that. But I just saw a great acceleration of things even from Passover to Rosh Hashanah going into the fall. and that there would be through the United States. And then I saw, I saw you, Pastor Steve. The Lord said He was opening up major doors for you, more than what you realize, and that you were called more into the political arena than whatever you expected. That this would be a season of great promotion with open doors. And that you would go and you would start speaking at churches, and you would have an anointing on you like the old patriots.
You said you saw me as an old guy.
Yeah, but it was not necessarily an old guy. It was like a mantle of telling people in these old churches, like trying to reform America again, bringing back America. Because the Lord told me, He said, I am not done with America. Amen. He said there's going to be a new wave of patriotism coming out, and that's whenever I saw Trump, and I saw a red wave coming out of Michigan, and then I saw Oklahoma, and there was embers of people, and they were all on they had torches all throughout Oklahoma, and they were raising up these torches that looked like fire, and they were bringing forth a new patriotism upon the nation, and it was being birthed, and it just kept spreading like fire all throughout America, all throughout. And I saw Trump rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum. And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame, and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again during this time frame. I'm talking. People say he's saved now, but he becomes really on fire for Jesus, for what I saw coming.
Wow.
And then I saw people interceding I saw him winning the presidency through great, the Lord showed me it would go clear into the summer. Great persecution would come on him through the judges and through the law and all these people trying to sue him and all this stuff. But there would be a stop to it, and things would start to break free come toward the fall. And then I saw him winning the election through the Patriots coming out and voting, and then there would be a great economy crash. Yeah. I saw they had a great economy plan, a crash. Yeah. Worse than the Great Depression. And the Lord warned me about this. It would be a great dark time. But I saw paddles coming upon America's soil like a shocking of the soil. And I saw Donald Trump praying in the office of the Oval Office, and he was weeping before the Lord with his hands on his head like this, but he was weeping. And there was ministers and people. I don't know if they were senators or Congress people or whatever. I just saw them pacing and back and forth inside of the White House. What is the White House? But it's the Oval Office. And they were interceding all inside there, and I could feel the presence of the Lord so strong on this. And then I could see that darkness that was the heaviness upon America with the financial crisis of what I saw coming. It started to lift above the trees, and I saw the blue and the things coming back out, and the green times and the good times coming back again. But the Lord said it would be forth a time of a season of a shaking, and it would be a shaking to awaken. And in this, this would basically that He was not done with America. There would be a great revival come, and it's not all doom and gloom. That's what He said. The sky's not falling. There's a time of it's like people would say, this is judgment, and the Lord said, do not call this judgment. It's not my judgment. It's a correction. There's correction coming.
Wow. Yo, very, very interesting. Brandon Briggs, right? This is this guy's name? Brandon Biggs. Not Briggs, excuse me. Brandon Biggs. This clip seems to be going viral. This clip seems to be going viral, folks. I mean, a lot of the stuff that he was saying, it kind of lines up with this, but I mean, a lot of the stuff you could kind of just guess, like, for real. What can you guess necessarily? I mean, a stock market crash, but they've been saying that for like however long, right? But the stock market would crash what? Because he gets in the office? That's the question, though. Or it just happens because we're kind of been looming towards it. I mean, the heat, every summer gets hot. You could predict that. the whole weeping and him coming to this. Well, he brings up him getting shot in the ear and blows out an eardrum. I don't know if he blew out an eardrum, but that sound of that round going by your ear, or going through your ear, or hitting your ear, however that you want to, however it happened, it hit and went through his ear. That sound going by will probably mess up your hearing for that second or whatever, or for the day or whatever. But I feel like there's no way that you can predict that there's no way that there's no way this guy would have known this, because this happened last weekend. It literally just happened this past weekend. And this was 4 months ago. So this guy is seeing some things or he's being told something. He's being told, seeing some things that is just very interesting. The congressman and him weeping, or going to the White House and him weeping, and then coming to this full-on awakening and stuff like that. I mean, if you're having a near-death experience, I mean, I feel like a lot of people would have like this come into Jesus life, or this moment. Hopefully if they have some common sense, they would come to some kind of conclusion that like there's something bigger than all of us here that's meshing all this together. I don't know. It's just wild that this guy that's crazy, dude. I'm like at a loss of words here. There's no way that it could have been the leg, it could have been an arm, or something like that. He said the ear. Now, which ear was it though? I don't mean to like break down this whole thing, but I'm very interested.
I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum.
That's crazy. That is crazy. It's the same. That's the same ear that he got shot, right? Yeah, it's the same ear. That's his right ear. Wow. Like the same motion. It's a little bit higher. I'm pretty sure like the bullet hit and went through. But like, this guy's calling it right now.
And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame, and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again.
Well, that's the whole point of. Okay, that's what I wanted to say. If you have a near-death experience, I mean, somebody who they would have to come to a conclusion here, like, wow, somebody's looking out for me. There's something bigger than just me here that allowed me to live and breathe another breath, to live another day. It's very interesting, man. Brandon Biggs over there, I don't know if it's prophetic, it's biblical, I don't know what it is, but it's so interesting that this individual called it out, the same ear and everything. Let me know what you folks think in the comment section below. Hit the like, share, and the subscribe button. I'm going to put the link for this video in the description below. Steve Cioccolante and Discover Ministries. We got to go check him out. We got to give him the like. We give him the subscribe. Sounds like he's preaching some prophetic words from the Bible here. So I definitely want to go check out with his ministry and go see what they're doing over there. Yeah. All right. What else do we have here? Well, really, it's just closing statements, right? Like this is all pretty wild, man. Like I don't even know what to. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, folks. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. This isn't over. I feel like there's so much more that hasn't even been shown yet. We got to come together here, folks, and we got to make things better in this world for all of us, for our future children, our future generations. We need to do better. We got to do better. We got to stay informed. We have to work with our communities and spread good positivity out there. But right now, it is in chaos here. And both sides of this political party, we need to chill out. We need to chill things out. Because it went from 0 to 1 million over the weekend. And it could have went to 0 to 1 trillion. And it just... This lifestyle that we're living here, folks, it could all go away real quick if something like this happens. It's my personal opinion, especially with the state of politics and just the state of the world. We're already in such like a difficult time because we're trying to help these countries overseas, and they have their own enemies. And when you help people, you become an enemy of your friends, and like it's crazy. It's crazy, but folks, let's get together here. We have to wake up and realize that we're all on this planet together, and we have to work together. Or it's going to continue to be wars and battles and all this nonsense that is not productive for anybody, for any of us. So, wow, it's crazy times, right? Crazy times. Crazy times. So the RNC is going to be going on until the 18th. It's the 15th right now, so we got 3 days. It's going to be very interesting to see how the next couple days, or 2 or 3 days, go, and the rest of this year. Wow. The security failure at the the security failure at the Butler Trump rally is definitely unfortunate. There's something really weird about it. I'm not going to leave all the conspiracy stuff out of this message, but it's very interesting how all this stuff just happens days before the RNC, and days after they were calling for President Joe Biden to take his nomination down for some kind of $90 million donation. They were threatening him to stand down. I mean, holy crap. That happens, and then boom, all the air just gets sucked out of the room. Whoosh, this is gone. This is gone, and now it's on this, which is rightly so, because this is a very important topic. This is crazy. This historical moment that we're all living in here. So anyway, I've done yapped on. JD Vance, the VP, interesting RNC footage that we got here. Interesting interview with Dan Bongino talking about the Secret Service. Wow. Crazy times we are in, folks. Stay informed, stay healthy, drink water. I love you folks so much. Shout out to everybody who's been supporting your boy. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Wow, what a big turnout. This has been... We're going to keep doing this. I'm seeing a lot of good feedback from you folks. Thank you so much. Thank you. We're going to be doing another live stream here, not on YouTube, but on Twitch. We're going to be playing Once Human. I just had to state that. We stream all the time. If you want to see what else we're doing, hit me up on all platforms at Kicking It with Timmy B. And then if you have a X, formerly known as Twitter, you can hit me up on there at KIWTB Gaming. See you on the next.